Hello and welcome to episode 150. That's 150 for Schnozzcast on Saturday, November 20th, 2021. This is Bob along with my stalwart chums, Nick, Cory, Todd, and special guest, once again, Greg Gumtow joining us. Got a few things to get to today, including booze news, some Thanksgiving shenanigans, perhaps a ghost story, some gentleman's agreement, and pick of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. You can find us here every week at this time. You can also stream us out on the streaming services. That's iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, Amazon Music, or anywhere where you can get a podcast. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all at Schnozzcast. You can email us, if you so choose, at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us at 618-SHOCKER. The Shocker line is open, monitored by our Shocker expert, resident Shocker expert, Nick Bader.
Yes, sir. It's open and ready to be shocked.
Gentlemen, how's everybody?
I thought you only told me that, buddy.
I do, but that's off the air.
Okay. As long as it still stays between us.
Thanks a lot for that, buddy.
I don't want to interrupt this tender moment.
Love and caring moment.
Yeah.
Well, they finally got the room lighting just right.
It's like a rom-com in here now. Yeah. Has anyone assigned anyone a rom-com for the gentleman's agreement?
I don't even know what that means.
Romantic comedy, sir.
Oh, God, I would hate that.
Like 27 Dresses.
What does that mean?
The Notebook.
I haven't seen that.
Tugs on the heartstrings, Nick.
No, that... Okay.
He's doing his best now not to get one.
Don't wind me up.
Todd Dillon, are you out there, sir?
I am out here.
Fantastic. How are you?
Mighty.
How is the weather out there in Seattle, buddy?
It's beautiful today. It's a beautiful day.
No forest fires, earthquakes, tornadoes?
No, none of those. Rain elsewhere in the state, but in my area, it was actually a really beautiful day. We had a little bit of sprinkles. Sun was out, 55 degrees. Great.
Sprinkles.
That's a word.
It's sprinkling. We had a little bit of sprinkles. Sounds like you're talking about an ice cream sundae.
Those are Jimmy's.
Yeah, that's true. So is sprinkles also like a Boston thing, a New England thing? Like Jimmy's?
I don't know. Am I from New England?
Well, Jimmy's is a New England thing.
No, Jimmy's is universal.
No, I doubt that. Somehow
They're
I doubt
Jimmy's.
That. All right, so it's a full moon tonight, you fucks. And Thanksgiving is coming very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And on the topic of Thanksgiving, I'm going to shoot it over to Mr. Nick Bader.
Oh, wonderful. Just as I'm trying to post something on Facebook for the Schnozzcast. That's fine. Let me see. Let me pull it up.
We had some some interesting Thanksgiving facts to share. So for those of our listeners who are outside the U.S. and who are not familiar with Thanksgiving, this is a holiday in which we give thanks for many things.
Screwing the Indians.
I was holding off on trying to see how delicately I could put that, but
wow,
always give thanks for that.
Raping the land and stealing it from the natives, and yes, so it's
we're thankful for that.
We are.
So we got 14 weird and amazing Thanksgiving facts. It says after you count your blessings this Thanksgiving, while your kids with these 14 weird and amazing turkey and Thanksgiving related facts. So number one, pumpkin pie was not served at the first Thanksgiving meal. I'm probably
the hell you say.
Probably could have told you that. What oven was it put in?
Let me guess. There was no turkey either.
But as we learned with Men with the Pot, you can cook all kinds of shit outside without.
That's true. That's true. So it says the Pilgrims didn't have ovens for baking, and they lacked the butter and flour necessary for pie crust. Culinary historians believe that the first Thanksgiving meal consisted largely of seafood, like mussels, lobster, and clams. There you go, Cory.
That's my kind of fucking Thanksgiving right there.
We got half of that right in the freezer right now.
I didn't hear the word fish sticks in there anywhere.
Diners almost certainly ate venison and likely some assortment of wild fowl, turkey, duck, goose, and swan. Dude, I've never had a swan.
We haven't lived until you have that swan, my friend.
But funny swan. I was going to say fawn. Swan.
Choose your words, buddy.
Swan segue. It was hard to say. When we were kayaking this summer, we were watching some very graceful swans. Elongated.
Oh, thanks, man.
Elongated necks, flying in formation, trying to come down to land, and Cory being the
graceful swan.
Graceful stallion that he is. As much as he lives a sedentary lifestyle, he kind of puts things into his own perspective, and he gazed at the swan as it was trying to land, and in the most honest voice I've ever heard Cory say, he went, "Huh. I wonder if their necks get tired from holding them straight like that."
That is a deep philosophical question.
It was an honest thought.
I go, what?
My hat's off to you.
And he's like, I don't know. I just keep my neck perfectly straight like that. I think I would get tired. He's never been more honest. He wasn't trying to crack a joke, and I just tears out of my eyes was laughing so hard.
I want Cory to keep a journal where he records thoughts
He
like
does.
that.
I do keep a journal.
But I want you to read them on the podcast, like
CoryTalks.cc, remember?
Tuesday.
All right, so number 2, an estimated 240 million turkeys will be raised in the U.S. this year. Of the 240 million turkeys raised this year, 45 million, or 18%, will be baked, grilled, and fried this Thanksgiving. If you're thinking of frying your bird this year, use extra caution. Make sure that the fryer is outside, far away from anything flammable, and do not put a frozen turkey in the fryer. Number 3.
That's a dated thing, then.
It's dated?
You can put frozen turkeys in a fryer now?
I knew Todd.
No. You don't want to drop frozen turkeys in the fryer, but you can buy electric fryers and use them indoors.
Yeah,
Part
as
of
long as
the-
there's not a heating element that it's going to fall on. But a propane fryer, do not drop a frozen
Yeah,
turkey.
let's put as many disclaimers.
Don't drop a
as
frozen
we can
turkey into
so
anything.
that
Yeah, let's
the
just-
Part of
Schnozzcast
me
doesn't
wants
get
to try
sued
it.
when someone
I've
tries to
seen
fry a
videos,
turkey in
but I
their
want to
kitchen.
be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, I heard from Todd on the Schnozzcast that
Yeah.
you could drop a
Yeah,
frozen
you'll
one
be
right
hearing
in.
from my lawyer.
Guys, we do have listeners. We're getting sued.
Yeah,
So-
right, exactly. That's when we'll get listeners.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Exactly.
So number 3, the first Thanksgiving was celebrated in 1621, but it wasn't observed as a national holiday till 1863. Number 4, the TV dinner was invented thanks to Thanksgiving. In 1953, a Swanson employee accidentally ordered too much turkey, 260 tons too much. The frozen turkeys were taking up space in 10 refrigerated train cars when the company salesman suggested preparing and packaging the turkey with sides in a compartmentalized aluminum tray. Swanson sold 5,000 TV dinners in 1953. The following year, they sold 10 million.
Wow.
Number 5, 50 million pumpkin pies are eaten on Thanksgiving, but it's not the favorite. Apple pie is the overwhelming favorite. Number 6, there weren't any balloons at the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1924. Number 7, if Benjamin Franklin had gotten his way, the turkey would be our national bird.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, the what would be our national
The
bird?
turkey.
The turkey.
You go from a
that's-
majestic
That's
bald
a
eagle.
commonly known fact.
Says, although some people believe this Thanksgiving fact to actually be a myth, according to Franklin, the turkey is much more of a respectable bird. He also believed that the turkey was a bird of courage. I don't know, dude. I'm pretty
And
sure
turkeys
a
don't
bald
go
eagle-
around plucking little kids and Pomeranians out of baby carriages.
I'm relatively certain that a bald eagle would rip a turkey to shreds.
Yeah, but they're not honorable.
Oh, they are. Dude,
They
you know how
take
long
little
it takes
babies
for a
out of
bald-
carriages.
You know, it takes like 7 years for an adult bald eagle to finally get the white head, like that everyone knows to love of the bald eagle. Like they go through all these changes getting up to that point.
If I lived in Mali
They're not even the good
or
eagle.
Singapore, this
The
would be
golden
so
eagle's better.
entertaining. I don't know anything about these things.
I don't know.
Oh, American
Hopefully, we have a
facts.
huge Mali audience.
We
so.
do, we are number 57 in the podcast ranking in Mali.
Either that or whoever's listening is on Mali. Hopefully, so
That is official. Anyway,
Number 8, there are 4 places in the U.S. with turkey in their name. Great. Number 9, the largest pumpkin pie ever baked weighed 3,699 pounds and measured 20 feet in diameter. 10,
And most of it went to waste, I'm sure.
cranberries aren't just for eating. I'm not going to bore you with cranberry crafts. Number 11, Jingle Bells was originally a Thanksgiving song.
the hell you say?
James Pierpoint composed one horse open sleigh in 1857 for children celebrating Thanksgiving. It was such a hit that the song was sung again at Christmas, and the tradition stuck. The title was changed 2 years later to Jingle Bells. Number 12, only male turkeys gobble. Number 13, Big Bird's costume on Sesame Street is made of turkey feathers that have been dyed yellow.
Fascinating.
Fantastic.
Where's PETA when you need him?
Turkey tail is a delicacy in Samoa.
We're big in Samoa, Greg.
We have to be. You got to be big somewhere.
American Samoa?
And we'll just leave it at that. So those are your Thanksgiving facts for 2021. Thank God all the bans are lifted and we can celebrate with each other.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask, do you guys? You know what? I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this for the segment that we talked about later. So let's jump into booze news.
And now it's time for booze news.
All right, informing listeners across the globe, we come to you with some booze news. I'm gonna look directly across the stage to Mr. Cory Selesky for our first article.
Yeah? Well, I've got an excellent one for you this week, Bob. I was going to bring it up to you guys earlier this week, but I decided I'm going to leave it a mystery until now.
We saw how well that worked out for us last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Surprising all
great.
of your co-hosts. Recipe for success.
So what I found for this week was this interesting article.
If you say fucking angels, I swear to God.
No, God, no. But what is the Christian view on gay marriage? Are spiritual gifts biblical? Can Christians drink alcohol? No. Oh, no. Should we not do that?
Let's not do this one, no.
Oh, I don't. I thought I was just kind of going off last week.
Okay.
Ripping off last week.
I was trying to. I thought.
So you don't actually have an article? You're just trying to think it.
Suddenly I felt my asshole slam
Sure,
shut again.
Oh, thank God. Okay. So looking over to my left there, Mr. Nick Bader.
Oh, yeah.
I'm cutting all of that out.
I'll just no, that's fine.
It was a joke.
We got to be able
I know it was,
we got to
but-
be able to make fun of ourselves.
If I thought that people were like a good television series, watching every episode, listening to every episode of the podcast, then they would get that reference. But
Well, they're going to have to go
Well,
back
now
and
they're
listen.
gonna have to go back and listen.
to the last episode.
all right, that's a good point.
Yeah, they'll never know why I call him TT then either.
Exactly.
Oh,
The world
yeah.
may never know,
yeah.
Todd.
No, I just read something. This could be you.
You want me to do this?
Yeah. You've given me articles before.
I don't. No, I'm going to tell you. I'd rather you did it. Honestly, I don't. Need
I
to
can
hog
just
the
keep
mic.
talking this whole time while everyone stares at us.
Totally fine.
Oh, great. So hiker finds a stream of beer in Hawaii. So it says, while hiking through Waiapo, Hawaii, last month, a man was surprised to smell booze. So he followed the odor and found a stream with the same alcohol content, 1.2%, as the beer made in the UK. He described the smell as being horrific. An activist who runs a nonprofit Enderwatch, Carol Cox, the hiker contacted him after finding the stream, which is located 120 feet below the freeway on the island of Oahu. Cox went out to the location with a few colleagues after the call. They noticed that there was a storm drain underneath the freeway that expelled the water down from a cliff and into the stream. We found a completely dysfunctional storm drain that dumps down the face of the canyon, he said, adding that it was a 6-foot round metal cylinder extended underneath the freeway. Nearby, on the other side of a busy street, there was also a warehouse for one of the state's largest distributors of alcohol and liquor. Government officials identified the source of the alcohol as a distributor, Paradise Beverages Incorporated, according to emails reviewed by the Washington Post. Anthony Rowe, the distributor's director of operations, said the company is cooperative with investigations into the stream. It may be coming from us, so that's why we're working with the proper authorities. If you're smelling beer and it's right below us down the stream, I guess you found out what the fuck we've been doing for the past couple years. Hawaii News now tested the stream's water alcohol level and found that it was, in fact, 1.2% alcohol by volume in the stream running directly below the warehouse.
1.2.
That's just really low.
That's so weak.
Yeah, but dude, it's a stream.
Sorry, it's like my blood's
Yeah.
got 1.2.
you
constantly.
could just face the stream like whatever
I was
the
gonna say,
flow
you
is
just
and
have
just
to open your mouth up and
Yeah, just-
start drinking.
that's the way to go. Although Paradise Beverage is working with the government, Cox said contaminated streams are commonplace in Hawaii. I don't even worry about it. Hey, look, we're killing the bacteria. He said that it's also found streams contaminated with paint and cement. I would hate to have a cement running, flowing stream. Wouldn't that be horrible? Cox said the lack of respect for the land and the water, even though we preach it all the time, we don't practice what we preach. With few remaining wetlands, the Hawaiian Islands are ecologically fragile, he added. Cox noted that November 8th complaint to the Clean Ocean Water and Waters Act branch of Hawaii's Department of Health said the stream contamination was in violation of their act. In a statement, the Transportation Department spokesperson said the officials will continue to work with the Department of Health and the city of Honolulu for further action that may be required. So, yeah, if you're in Hawaii before they get it cleaned up,
drink those streams.
Free beer.
Go grab yourself a fucking pint.
Drink the streams. All right, I'm gonna move the other part that you were gonna talk about to later because I feel like if I dished it off to you again, you're gonna get mad at me.
Oh yeah, I got it. we like to let Nick tell 3 long stories in a row, gets it all out of his system, and then he just never says anything for the rest of the show.
He just kind of tires himself out.
Yeah.
I bet you differ with you. I think this is awesome because you literally. So
we're talking a lot.
What do the Schnozzcast fellas do before the podcast? We like to take some advice that we once got from James Krabby Pappas and do some pre-gaming. So it's a little preparatory work. Try to make a show that has a little bit of structure to it, so we're not and ahhing all the way through the show. So I'll generally say like, oh, does anybody have a Booze News article for tonight? Does anybody have this? Is that? Cory, do you have a Funko? That kind of stuff. Sometimes people go, I don't have anything. Some people are like, yep. And we generally try to cobble together like what we think we're going to do. And tonight, Nick's like, oh, I got 3 things. You may have even said 4 things, but 3 things. And that's a great, I was like, this is awesome. Like now we don't have to scramble. Like, because sometimes you're kind of rolling the dice. If I show up and I'm like, man, I don't have anything. Hope these guys do. And they're like, nope. Then I know.
Rough start.
I'm like, oh my God, we got to come up with something. So it's all good. But just to be kind, I'm going to move the other thing to later.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to.
Well,
I have Booze News and I want to air a grievance.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so first of all, I did text you, Cod. Cod?
Yeah.
Cod?
I texted you.
I am now Cod. I am now Cod.
It's Cod from now on.
Exactly. I am now Cod.
I texted you, Todd, to say,
Todd.
hey, we have Booze News. Do you have one? I never heard from you, but
I texted you back.
Never got it. Go right ahead.
You'll address me as Cod.
I texted you back. Listen here, Salmon.
Lord Cod.
Listen here, you silver salmon.
Go right ahead, sir. We're still technically in Booze News.
Yeah? Do I get to go now?
Dude, we're all waiting for you.
Address me as Cod, sir.
I'm 2 seconds away from muting your mic, so either start the Booze News or we can move on.
God, it kind of sounds like you got some chips on your shoulder.
Exactly. I got some chips on my shoulder. Anyway, I'll get to it. In the news recently, Austria, like much of the world, is grappling with how to convince reluctant citizens to get vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus so that everybody can get back to normal. While its government prepares to impose a lockdown for the unvaccinated, one business has settled on an unlikely incentive. Fun Palace, a brothel in the capital of Vienna, has opted to inject some enthusiasm and COVID immunity into the clientele by offering free access to anyone willing to get the jab on site. The brothel made international headlines this week after announcing it would be giving vouchers of €40, the cost of entry, to anyone willing to get vaccinated at its new pop-up clinic. I won't read the whole article because there's a bunch of stuff in there, but on the first day, nearly 150 visitors to said brothel were vaccinated on Monday.
Wow.
So 150 dudes rolled into the brothel on a Monday.
Yeah.
Todd,
That's what I'm talking about.
Keep talking.
I will correct you on that story. There was not
Yes,
just
sir.
150 males that rolled into that place because I read this story too, and I'm glad you picked it because I should have put it in my notes. But it was also open to females, and there was a large female population that also showed up as well.
I happen to call men and ladies dudes, so get off my job.
Okay. Gotcha. Now that we have that cleared up.
But thank you for correcting me. I thought that was an awesome booze news story.
Definitely.
So now
Get your prick, and then you get your prick licked.
Wow. That sounds like it was on the spot.
He's like, should I say it? I'm going to say it. Yep, I'm saying it.
In both instances.
Sorry, Kurt, do you have something else to add?
No, that was
Okay.
He'll have to check his notes.
So I want to pose it to the group. I want to do a top 5. We haven't done a top 5 thing in quite a while. It's been actually the last time we did it, I think, was in March. So it's been a while. But with Thanksgiving coming up, it occurred to me to ask, why don't we do top 5 holiday specials? Doesn't have to be Thanksgiving, but either as a kid or currently today. Thanksgiving is another great, like a lot of people watch. Nick made some artwork this week for a play on Charlie Brown Thanksgiving with us. I don't know if anybody saw it, but it's out there on Facebook.
Me and Nick were at the kid table.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think we were.
You should have gotten a string of popcorn and some toast at the very least, but he gave you nothing. But I always watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving with my kids, and I'm like, well, I can't be the only one. But there's lots of other, whether it's Christmas movies or whether it's any other holiday specials that are out there as a kid or as a grown up that you may have at one point or currently still do watch. I want to do top 5 for that. So does that sound like it'll work? Can everybody?
Sounds good.
for Thanksgiving.
Could be any holiday special. I don't want to limit to Thanksgiving. Could
Okay, I was gonna say that's a very narrow.
I didn't want to make it that narrow, so any holiday special is good. So we could do that now, or we could do a little lightning round, and you guys could think about it in the meantime.
Yeah, so give us a second to think on the
Excellent.
5.
So, this is going to make an editing nightmare because I'm now moving over to lightning round.
That's fine.
Okay, let's do. So these first few for lightning round are. I'm just going to say if you're going to answer the affirmative, just say your name, and we'll do that. So, say your name if you know how to salsa dance.
Did you think anyone in this room?
Yeah, Todd Dillon. I did. I'm like, Todd's got to know how to salsa dance.
I do not. I've seen it. I don't know how to do it.
Damn it. Okay, so nobody on the Schnozzcast. Okay, say your name if you know what the acronym SCUBA stands for.
Damn it, I do.
All right.
Todd, go ahead, buddy.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Excellent, sir.
What'd you say?
Excellent, sir. Well done.
I know. Thank you.
I feel like he asked me how I did. All right, say your name if you've ever played wiffle ball.
Greg.
Todd.
Nick.
So everybody but me has played wiffle ball.
You've never played wiffle ball? Jesus Christ, dude.
Come on, man.
You're the oldest one here.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
could have sworn you
they
invented
didn't
wiffle
have
ball.
wiffle ball back then. This was before wiffle ball.
There's old kick the can
That's-
going on back
All
then.
right, so we'll start with Cory. Cory, from a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at wiffle ball?
Fucking 15.
Greg?
If he's a 15, I'm like a 25.
I'm a 30 now.
Wow, okay, perfect. Nick? 30?
It's 2 sports.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was like 7 the last time I played, so who
So
knows?
how
So-
good were you at
You got hit in the face with a wiffle ball. That's why you hate sports.
Never once. Never once.
So
Somebody hit him with a bat.
That's
I don't know.
That's
So
state.
a 1?
I would say a 6.
A 6? Okay.
So we used to play as a kid in my cousin's backyard, in my uncle's house. Full field,
Yeah.
basically, for us. We had like our own green monster, so to speak. Put a
Right.
tarp up, kept stats for a solid year and a half. That's why I said 25.
Did you memorize the stats of you and all of your friends?
Definitely not. Somebody else kept track of them. I was like 15 or 14.
Todd, how about you, sir? What's your wiffle ball skills? Greg said he's a 25 out of a scale of 1 to 10.
32.
Excellent.
Unlike Tim Tebow, I can hit the curve.
Well, that means I'm going to you for the next one, Todd. Todd, do you believe in love at first sight?
Yes. I loved you the first time I saw you, Bob.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Oh my god. Give me a break.
Todd, if you want, I could just mute everybody else's mic and you and I can continue motto on this podcast.
That's what I'm talking about.
So would Mary agree with this? Would you say you and Mary were love at first sight?
No.
Okay.
All
right,
You said the question was, do I believe in it? I do.
Right.
It was not love at first sight for Mary. She stalked me for a couple months before we actually started.
Nice save. So you were just on the run from a crazy person at the beginning of the relationship. I really hope she's listening tonight. Let's go to our other resident, soon-to-be ex-bachelor, Mr. Cory Schnozzcast.
What was the question?
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I don't know.
You don't have to worry because Danielle's not listening.
Yeah, no, she's listening to the podcast.
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh, but no, since she's not listening, you could be honest.
I know. I'm kidding. No, I do.
You do not believe in it.
Okay, thank you for telling me what I do and don't believe
You don't.
in.
From
He
now
doesn't.
on, when I
do.
want you to answer, I'm going to ask him.
Yes, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Because clearly Nick knows my feelings better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who did you see for the
Nick,
first time without talking to and we're like, I'm in love and it worked out?
We will not discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Whoever they are, Cory's friends with them on Instagram today.
Thinking someone is smoking hot immediately is not constituted
That's different
as
than love at first sight,
love
buddy.
at first sight.
Or is it?
I mean, sometimes.
Exactly.
Greg?
No.
No? Wow, interesting. Okay.
Nick, no. Thank you.
All right. Nick, how many cups of coffee do you drink per day?
2 to 3.
I know Cory's is 0.
0.
Greg, do you drink coffee?
0.
0? Todd, what about you?
Well, I don't drink any cups of coffee, but I have a container full of iced coffee most every day. So
How big
there's
is that
probably
container?
like 3 cups of. It's pretty big. Probably it's like 32 ounces. Is that like 1 cup of coffee?
No. No.
Good Lord.
Cup of coffee is
8
like
ounces?
8 ounces, yeah.
Yeah. So I have 3 a day. I guess.
No, that's actually 4. I'm no math whiz, but
You're looking to the wrong direction, buddy.
yeah.
I'm no math whiz, but clearly Nick is.
But Nick,
Hey, before you mock Lord Cod's freaking math skills, bro, it's iced coffee. So 3/4 of the
That's not
thing
going away
is
anytime
ice.
soon.
Yeah.
It's mostly
Todd's the one
ice.
Yeah, that's Todd, I would back you up any day, buddy. But unfortunately, if you're making iced coffee or ordering iced coffee the correct way, they make it stronger because they know it's going to be iced, and they know it's
No, I don't order it. I actually personally pour the liquid in my container, so I know it's about 3 cups, and the rest is ice.
Is it some sort of Keurig that has an iced coffee function on it, or you just take coffee and put it in the fridge?
No, I take to do that. Mary brews a pot of coffee. I pour myself about half of the thing, which is about 3 cups of coffee, and I put it in the fridge.
So
throw some ice on it.
So that is true, but technically iced coffee should be much stronger because it's going to be watered down. So just an FYI.
I'm a soft iced coffee drinker.
Yeah, you are.
this is the most fact heavy episode we've done in quite a while.
Word.
I think I'm probably 3, at least 3 a day.
I knew I loved you, Bob. 2 people love you on this podcast.
Are you answering for Cory again?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Greg, what's your ideal outside temperature?
26 degrees.
26.
C
It's
or
like
F?
that.
Yeah.
It's like that good weather for skiing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's- for me, that's it.
So it's got to be
Mid-20s.
below freezing.
Yes, but I anything in like the teens is a little
So
chilly.
even colder.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
I've skied
relationships, temperature.
I skied in 0-degree weather. That was great. But
But even if
I
you're
like-
not skiing, even if you're just like
I thought
walking
usually
down
the snow is crappier the colder it is, right?
what was that?
Isn't the snow crappy if it's still 0?
Is the snow crappier the colder it is? No, I don't think so.
No, it gets crunchy.
Yeah, there's nothing better than when it's like in the 20s and that fresh snow from the night before, and it's just that crunch, because it's so cold.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind skiing on it.
Fresh powder, though, is what you like.
Well, yeah. Who doesn't?
But I mean, if you're listening,
Hold on, we've got a cocaine question coming up, so let's just stay on point.
If you're listening to the audio podcast, you obviously can't see Greg, but he pretty much looks like a Viking. So there's no surprise that he likes cold weather.
Yeah.
He's got like a 10-inch beard, and he's about 6'4". So yeah.
Yeah. I want to hear what Cory has to say about this one. Ideal outside temperature.
84.
84.
Yeah.
It's a little warm.
Okay.
Woof.
Even if you're not in Oscoda.
Yes.
Do you understand? You do
Okay.
understand. I'm glad that you're picking up on this because he does everything. His heaven, everything.
I ask him, I just assume
That's where his mind goes.
is either happening or should happen in Oscoda.
Because when we asked that question, the only thing he heard was, if we were in Oscoda outside on the beach, what temperature would you love to be at all the time?
No, anywhere. 84.
Anywhere. Okay. Todd?
75.
Okay. What's the average temperature in Seattle? I mean, how often do you hit 75?
During the summer, a lot. The average temperature in the summer is probably right around 72 or 73.
Okay.
But yeah, I like it. I think it's perfect because at that temperature, you're not going to be too hot. If you play golf, you're not going to be cold. I'm not wearing an extra jacket. It's shorts weather, but it's not. You know what I mean? I could wear jeans and not be sweating. So I think that's like the perfect temperature.
Or your Columbia zip off pants?
There you go.
Yes. Nick?
I would say 78 is probably perfect temperature because, I mean, it's great for like all activities. Like if you're going kayaking, like it's a great time when it's hot, but because you have to keep getting in the water. Like the most minimal maintenance, I think, is 78 because you can still have a good time. There could still be a breeze. The water's going to be warm enough if you want to go in the water outside anywhere. If you want to do things like kayaking or outdoor activities, like it's not going to be, if we were saying like 68, then it's a little too cold maybe to go in the water. But
Right.
if you were up on the beach in Oscoda and it was 78, it's not that just sweltering heat, but you could still get a tan and lay on the beach and go in the water, and I think it's a good temperature.
I'm going to say 72. 72. I feel like, Todd, I don't know if I'm alone in this or if you're right there with me, but once you hit 50, like I just want it to be 72 all the time. And I'm using
not there with you.
furnaces and air conditioning to regulate the air so that I'm constantly at 72 no matter what happens.
No, not at all. I'm not even close.
But that's the problem, like all the variables that happen with these different temperatures. If you get like a strong breeze at 72, it's a little chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to go outside.
In the shade, too.
Yeah, if you want to go outside and do shit, that could be a little cool. You're not going to be like swimming at 72. Like,
But 75 you could.
yeah, you definitely could at 75 in the sun.
And 75 in the shade is 72.
I mean, it's 68 in my house right now, and we're all
Not down here it isn't.
yeah, it is.
Last week
doesn't
it
feel
wasn't.
like it.
No, last week
Last week
it was 84 down here.
Yeah, but the variables you're just talking about, you were running the dryer just a few minutes ago before we started the podcast, and it feels like it's at least 72 down here, if not warmer than that.
Well, we'll use your old man thermometer.
temperature thermometer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever slapped someone in the face? I'm going to go first. Yes.
I don't think I've ever slapped anyone.
Never slapped someone in the face?
No.
Not
Okay.
like on not
Man
like,
or woman?
not like a real slap.
Yeah, real slap.
It's punching.
Punching?
I was saying,
Face-
that's a different question.
Someone,
Face,
but yeah.
face
That's a
wash when
different
you're playing
question.
hockey. Just take your.
Yeah, I've never
I mean, I've
slapped
never like
anyone,
slapped
though.
anyone.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, to like harm someone, I would say no. Like joking around slapping,
Yeah, that-
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say that I was able to I was able to bear witness to Bob slapping someone in the face
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah. And it was on demand.
So
I was asked to. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
we had a very drunk friend of ours, Indian Don, who wholeheartedly believes, and he's older than Bob, Wholeheartedly.
I'm not sure why.
It applies. It applies.
The relish that he had. Just to point that out.
Because I'm saying this is like an older guy that is coming up to you, and he's very intoxicated, and he's like, and he was on the show before, and he's saying, hey, speaking monosyllabically because he's so drunk, hey, slap me in the face. And I'm like, what? I'm not going to slap you in the face. Well, the thing that Indian Don will do is if you don't slap him in the face when he gets in that mode, he thinks that a slap is like a, hey, man, slap yourself out of it, snap out of it. And he thinks a slap to the face will sober him up. And apparently in his mind, it does. And so if you don't slap him in the face, he will attempt to hit you in the face with his open hand as hard as he can until you slap him in the face. So he will provoke you to slap him in the face. So I'm grabbing his drunken hands as he's trying to hit me in the face. And I said, listen, I'm not going to fucking hit you in the face. I'm not slapping you. Fucking slap me. I'm like, I'm not going to slap you. I said, but I know someone who will. And he goes, what? I said, I know someone that'll slap you in the face. He goes, you do? I said, yep. And I turned to my right, and my good friend Bob Rankin was talking to someone, and I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, Bob. He said, yeah. I said, I got a job for you. He goes, what's that? I said, Don needs someone to slap him in the face. He goes, okay. And I moved from my bar stool. He reaffirmed with Don. Nick said, you need someone to slap you in the face? He said, yep. He goes, okay. Bam! Just as hard as he possibly could. Now his glasses went cockeyed. His hair, he has a long pony, like an old man pony, it went all frizzy. And he was like, thanks, brother.
I hope. And did he have one stray tear?
No.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
And he started hugging Bob, and he's like, I really appreciate that. That's what I needed. And I'm like, whoa. I'm a friend too. Like, wait, I said this.
I was your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don and I have been friends ever since.
Yep. And I've never seen more conviction on someone's face than Bob Rankin at that moment. He didn't ask why, how hard.
Who is it?
What's going on? I said, Don wants you to slap him in the face. And he went, okay. Very matter of fact.
But I did confirm.
Yeah, he did. He confirmed.
Did you say you needed me to slap someone to slap you in the face?
He goes, yep.
Bob was like, this is my moment right now.
Moments like those only come along once in a lifetime, my friend.
You're not wrong.
There was a rosy glow on Bob's face after that smack like that.
Well, that made my night.
He had checked off a bucket list. Like, he's like, done.
Sleep with a supermodel, slap someone in the face.
I will say Don was pretty happy after that too.
He was. It was weird.
It was a
both of their
night
pants
to remember.
Both their pants were wet.
Different reasons.
Yeah.
Why is it exactly though he can't slap himself to sober himself up?
I don't think you can.
Todd, it's kind of like
it's
jerking
coming.
yourself off as opposed to someone else doing it.
That's true.
That's why I don't. None of us do, clearly, because it's just not the same. Todd, you got a shot?
Then,
hold on. Todd, have you slapped somebody?
oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Can you elaborate?
She's downstairs right now.
Todd's a pimp.
She started me right before the wedding.
So who hasn't slap boxed? So I've done that. And I have definitely I'll just say this. I was a bouncer at a bar once, and similarly, there's a guy in the bar, and I told him that I told him I was gonna do it, and I did it, and it was pretty awesome. It felt pretty good.
Did you yell out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th? And then
I should have.
What the 5 fingers say to the face?
Slap, motherfucker.
What was he doing that made you threaten to slap him if he didn't stop it?
He'd been asked to leave, and he had been asked to leave, and he goes, and there was an exchange, and because I can't remember because that's not my normal go-to is the pimp slap, but he had done something to actually get to that point, and there was something in exchange. I can't remember the specifics of it, but I'm like, okay, and so I open hand frickin' blasted dude right off the bar and then dragged him out.
There's really not many things out there that's more embarrassing than getting slapped
Or slapping someone.
by another.
I'm just saying by another man.
As a man, by another man.
By another man getting slapped. There's
Slapped
really
by a woman.
it happens all the time.
Well, okay, hold on. So this isn't part of the question, but it begs the follow-up. Has anyone here ever been slapped by a woman?
I feel, Bob, that number's probably
Yes.
high.
Me?
I've ducked
I don't
out
think
of the
I
way.
ever have.
I've ducked out of the way.
I haven't.
So,
So you've been the
at the
target
bowling,
of a slap
at the
but
bowling
not
center. Oh yeah.
but not the victim of a slap. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like if two chicks are fighting when I was working at the no, just let them go at it. Don't ever get in the
Yeah,
middle
you
of that.
would just be like an innocent bystander in that. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
well, you're trying to get them outside because you don't want anything damaged inside the center.
but
so
it's
you try
not
to get
a
'em-
one-on-one like.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about like somebody like going eyes to you, one-on-one. I'm going to slap you. That kind of thing.
No.
Todd, I do have to ask you, that guy you slapped at the bar, was that Bob Probert right before you fed him a bunch of drinks?
No, and by
Listen up, you little bitch, you're going to drink.
We gotta shelve that too. So, no, the guy I slapped was at Nick's 911. I knocked him completely off the stool. It was awesome. but hey, Bob, yes, by a woman. Actually, it's why I will never have, and it's the day that the last wore an earring was the last time I was slapped by a woman.
The last what?
The last time you wore an
I-
earring.
Yes.
Oh, she caught your ear.
No. This is another bouncer story. I used to bounce at Dooley's in Ann Arbor when I graduated from college, and there was a woman that I didn't let into the bar because she had a fake ID, and she insisted it was her ID. And upon me telling her to in probably a little colorful language to getting, because she wasn't. Yeah. But anyway, she slapped me and then ripped my hoop earring out of my ear.
Oh no!
That would hurt.
To this day,
But I did not lay a finger on her.
To this day, is there a broken lobe?
You, sir, are a
No. Actually, it healed. Unfortunately, it wasn't like a thick thing, so it broke. But if you look at my earlobe, you can see where there was a hole, and now it's like a line because she
All the way
tugged
down
it
to the
like a
bottom of
good
the lobe?
couple. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, buddy. We got a couple more to do, but these shots are going to get really warm before we do it. So, Todd,
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to assume you're doing Crown Apple.
I'm doing Crown Apple today.
There you go. So, out there, if you're listening to us and you have some booze handy, please pour yourself a shot and then pause us. And now we're back, and now you can do it with us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
Excellent. All right. So, two more quick ones. Favorite type of muffin?
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
I would probably have to agree.
Todd?
Double chocolate.
Oh,
Gross.
I gotta go blueberry. Todd, you're the only outlier here.
Mary tried to feed me some blueberry trash this morning, and I was like, "Get that weak shit out of my face."
Wait, do you not like blueberry? Do you not like blueberry anything?
I love blueberries. Got blueberry bushes on the homestead.
Whoa.
Just not in your muffins.
Just not in my muffins, man. I like blueberry pancakes too.
So many jokes.
Dude, we're on a podcast.
There
You
were a
don't
lot
have to
there.
hold back.
Oh my God. You guys fucking with me here? What's going on? To all the fucking blueberries and balls on your fucking bush and the muffins? Settle down.
I'm not sure anyone said balls, but
Blueberries are spheres. They're balls. Balls, bush, blueberries, muffin. Come on.
okay.
Yeah.
Bears,
Yeah.
bees,
Bears,
Battlestar Galactica.
exactly.
You're killing me.
Exactly.
And just so
ball
you know,
bearings.
It's Beats, by the way.
just so you know
Damn it.
about blue balls or any balls really, body and below the belt grooming and a whole new ball game. Smoothmyballs.com presents the Turf Chopper 3.0. Which
Hell
has
yeah.
premium alloy blades and is water resistant, so you can take it in the shower or the sink. I don't know how you take something in the sink, but if you need to, you can do it. Shaving your body and below the belt should not be a task where you have to worry about nips and cuts. The Turf Chopper 3.0, which Todd knows about, features a no-scrape technology, so you don't have to have that lift and tug that he so eloquently told us about in the past. The no-scrape technology so you never have to nip that sack again. Use the promo code Schnozzcast for 20% off of your purchase. If links are not your thing, or are your thing, then go to smoothmyballs.com/Schnozzcast. Smoothmyballs.com is our sponsor, the perfect gear to upgrade your grooming routine in the bathroom or shower and help you grab life by the balls.
Smooth my balls.
Well played.
I looked at you, and I think we were thinking the same thing. Like, normally in a podcast, the sponsors are like right up front, or they like pre-record them and then they stick them in and put like post, right? However, I think Nick has stumbled upon something that's genius, which is anytime we just kind of like the topic just shifts to balls somehow, and then he just jumps right in with a sponsor read.
It's a way to go. You got to keep people on their toes, because if you front load your podcast with sponsors, then people are just going to fast forward.
100%. That's exactly what I feel like everybody does that.
That's what I do.
Really? I listen to all the ad reads.
It depends on who it is. If they're going to read it and they read it differently every time, then I will listen. Like Bill Burr does it, and it's hilarious, and it's different every single time.
Oh yeah, you can't just have this one ad read and then have it put in your.
A lot of podcasts do that. They pre-record it, and they stick
Rogan
the same.
does his all the first 5 minutes are all nothing but ads,
and they're all like
same.
It's the same recording. It's
yeah,
the same
Drew and Mike take turns. Like Cory will read it one week, Trudy will do it, Bob will, wherever it may be. But they, say, "Oh, Bob, you want to do the sponsor this week?" And so it's always a new spin,
right? And I get recording it and playing it, in the midst of when they take a break or whatever. That makes sense. But yeah, if it was they just pre-recorded just one that they did and then put it in, I would probably fast forward. But a lot of people that I listen to, they are pre-recorded, but it is a fresh read every time they put it in the episode.
That I would, if they're trying to make it funny. And
So the newest thing is, so Trudy's not always on the Drew and Mike show. She does 106.7 Wheels as a video or a disc jockey or whatever they're called. And so she's not always on the show every day. But when she is, they've been giving her the Jerkmate ad read. And it's absolutely hysterical because she's such a classy chick, and they make her read it, and she's so professional all the time,
Right.
And they'll cut her off and say things like, "Oh, Trudy uses it all the time," and she's like, "Yeah, hey," she's like, "I'm all about it." She's like, "There's no hate here."
All right, so we got last one, and then I'm going to dish it back over to Nick, like I promised I would. Todd, giving presents,
yes, sir,
or getting presents?
Giving.
That's my boy. That's my man. I'm the same way. Greg,
Giving.
Todd, Cory,
Giving.
Nick.
Yeah, I would. As much as I love getting a fucking, I know. Shut up.
I got to add something to my answer after you're done.
Okay, yeah, no. As much as I love to get a present, I thoroughly enjoy picking something out for somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
The amendment to my answer, now that I'm getting older, it has definitely become, like as a kid, that's all you look forward to is getting presents.
Yeah, part of becoming an adult is learning how to give presents.
Yeah. So now, becoming older now, it definitely is. It's more interesting to give them and see people's reaction. Know the thought you put into them.
I hope you guys all enjoy your Brute by Fabergé.
Oh, my dad used to wear that shit.
Gross.
Hi, karate.
I can literally picture it up in his medicine cabinet right now, and smell it. So there's that. All right, so thanks, fellas. A big dent in lightning round, and now I'm going to dish it over to Nick before we take a break, because he has what I'm told is the world's first legal ghost story.
Yeah, so it's the one and only so far that I've heard. So it's a ghost who actually helped solve her own murder. So this article, as it reads, one January afternoon, 1897, Erasmus Edward Shue, a blacksmith, sent his neighbor's young boy to see if Elva, Shue's wife of 3 months, needed anything from the market. So it says that the boy walked through the front door of the Shue's rural Greenbrier County, West Virginia log house and found Elva lying at the foot of the stairs. He stood for a moment looking at the woman, not knowing what to make of the scene. He's a young boy. Her body was stretched out straight, legs together. One arm was at her side and the other rested across her chest. Her head was tilted to one side. At first, he thought that she was simply asleep on the floor, but he stepped towards her quietly, calling out, "Miss Shoe, Miss Shoe." When she didn't respond, he then panicked, bolted from the house, and ran back. He told his mother what he had found, and she summoned the local doctor and coroner, George W. Knapp. Knapp didn't get to the Shoe's house for almost an hour. I mean, you have to feel like back in the 1800s, it's probably quite a task to be jumping on a horse and going from town to town. So he didn't get there for almost about an hour, and by the time he arrived, Shoe had already gotten home. Carried his wife's body up to the bedroom, washed and dressed her, laid her out on the bed. He had prepared her body for burial in a high-necked dress with a stiff collar and placed a veil over her face. Knapp went about examining the body, Shoe cradling his wife's head and crying the whole time. When Knapp attempted to examine Elva's neck and head, Shoe became very agitated, and Knapp, who didn't want to provoke him any further based on the fact that he had just lost his wife, decided that the examination was over and he would leave the man with his wife that had just passed. He found nothing amiss with the body parts that he had examined, and he had also been treating Elva for a few weeks prior to this, so he listed the cause of death as everlasting faint and then changed it to complications from pregnancy. Elva's body was taken to her childhood home of Little Sewell Mountain and buried there, but not before a bizarre funeral where the widower acted very erratically. He paced by the casket, fiddling with Elva's head and neck, moving her neck around, moving her head around into different positions. In addition to the collar and the veil that he covered her face with, he had covered her neck with a scarf. It didn't match anything that she was wearing. Her burial dress was very fancy. The scarf was not, but Shoe insisted that this was her favorite scarf and that she would have wanted to be buried with it. He also propped her head up, first with a pillow and then rolled up a cloth. It was certainly very strange, but most guests likely chalked it up to the grieving process. Shoe was generally liked and regarded without any suspicions by anyone in the community. Everyone in the town except for Mary Jane Heister, Elva's mother. She had never liked Shoe, and even without evidence, she was convinced that he had murdered her daughter. If only Elva could figure out what had happened, she thought. She decided to pray for Elva somehow come back from the dead and reveal the truth about her death. She prayed every night for weeks and weeks and weeks until finally her prayers were answered. Heister claimed that her daughter appeared to her in a dream form for 4 nights in a row to tell her story. Supposedly the spirit appeared first as a bright light, gradually taking the form of a human. That was obviously an apparition, filling the room with a certain chill as the temperature dropped. Elva's ghost confessed to her mother that Shoe cruelly abused her day and night, and one night attacked her in a rage when he thought that she hadn't made any meat for his dinner. That's a good reason to kill someone.
Sure.
He had broken her He had broken her neck, the ghost said, and as she said this, the see-through apparition of what looked like her daughter spun her neck around 360. She turned her head completely around her body and said that he had broken her neck. Then the ghost turned and walked away, disappearing into the night while staring back at her mother. Heister went to the local prosecutor, John Preston, and spent the afternoon at his office trying to get him to reopen the case. Whether Preston believed the story about the ghost, we don't know, but Heister was persistent and convincing enough that she began asking questions around town. The prosecutor began asking questions around town. Shoe's neighbor and friends told Preston about the man's strange behavior at the funeral, and Dr. Knapp admitted that his examination was incomplete and he wasn't able to examine the neck and the head. It was enough for Preston to justify an order to complete an autopsy, and a few days later the body was exhumed, despite Shoe's objections. Knapp and 2 other doctors laid the body out on the town's one-room schoolhouse to give it a thorough examination. A local newspaper, the Pocahontas Times, later reported that on the throat were the marks of fingers indicating that she had been strangled or choken, that the neck was dislocated between the first and second vertebrae. The ligaments were torn and ruptured, and the windpipe had been completely crushed to the point that the front of the neck met the back. It was clear that Elva's death was not natural, but there was no evidence pointing to the killer and no witnesses. Shoe's strange behavior since Elva's death stuck in Preston's mind and cast some suspicion at him. At the same time, Elva's mother had described exactly how her daughter was killed before an autopsy was even performed. Maybe she's the one that did it, he thought, and the ghost story was an elaborate plot to frame Shu. Preston continued to investigate and began looking into Shu's past. He learned that Shu had been married twice before. The first ended in divorce while Shu was in prison for stealing a horse.
Wait, what?
He was in prison for stealing a horse. Come on, man. It's the time. The wife later told police that Shu was extremely violent and often beat her frequently while they were married. His second marriage ended just after 8 months with the mysterious death of his second wife. In between these marriages, Shu boasted in prison that he planned to marry 7 women total in his lifetime. The previous wife's mysterious death and Shu's history of abuse were circumstantial, but enough for Preston to bring him to trial. Heaster was the prosecution's star witness, but Preston wanted to avoid an issue of her ghostly sightings since Elva's story, as relayed by her mother, might be objected to hearsay by the defense. Perhaps hoping to prove her unreliable, Shu's lawyer questioned Heaster extensively about the ghost visit and in the cross-examination. The tactic backfired when Heaster's refusing to waver in her account despite intense badgering by the lawyer. Many people in the community, if not the jury, seemed to believe Heaster's story, and Shu did himself no favors by taking the stand in his own defense, rambling and appealing to the jury to look into his face and then say that he was guilty, which is what the local paper reported. Testimony, manner, and so forth made an unfavorable impression on the spectators, said some of the members of the jury. The jury deliberated for just about an hour and 10 minutes before returning a guilty verdict. She was sentenced to life in prison, but died soon after an epidemic tore through the local prison in the spring of 1900. Heaster lived until 1916 and never recanted her story about Elva's ghost. Maybe her story swayed the jury and won the case. Maybe it didn't. Maybe her daughter spoke to her from beyond the grave. Maybe the ghost was all in Heaster's head, or maybe it was a strategic lie. But no matter what you think, or what was seen or what was believed, without the ghost story, Heaster may have never gone to Preston, and Shu may have not gone to trial. A historical marker in Greenbrier County commemorates Elva's death and the unusual court case that followed, noting that this was the only known case in history in which testimony from a ghost helped convict a murderer.
Holy sweet Jesus.
Fantastic story, sir.
So, not to cut 98% of that off, but couldn't they have just, when he was kind of being weird around the body and trying to hide her neck and twist her head and all that shit, like been like, we should probably get back into this.
It's in the early 1900s, though. They're not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, they were, those times were, a lot of things were so different. It was like men were revered and women were to be seen, not heard. And if he's crying and all this stuff and just acting weird, like saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're dead," and fixing her head, then they may just think he's grieving.
Hold on a second.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
I mean,
given that,
I don't.
Given
I'm talking about I'm a fan of the paranormal, so I'm not obviously I'm not saying
yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest tell on that would have been him twisting the body up at the funeral.
No, the biggest
putting weird scarves on her.
I mean, I'm no detective. I'll give you that much.
Hold on. You're not a detective?
Nor a prosecutor, believe it or not.
Wait a minute. What?
I know, but rather than waiting for the ghost to show up, I just went like, oh, look at this fucking guy doing this.
I mean, think about the doctor that didn't do his due diligence. I mean, I'm surprised he wasn't lost his license or anything like that.
I don't think they really had licenses back then. They were just kind of.
I'm pretty sure they.
Oh, you're a doctor.
Like
you're a doctor now.
Your grandfather did.
He wasn't a plague doctor.
Did you say a plague doctor?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
It feels like to me that
they wore the big.
Can you guys hear me?
Crow mask.
Can you guys hear me?
They doctors were
like Spy versus Spy at Mad Magazine.
Yes.
Can anybody hear me?
Doctors were in such a shortage at the time because they were going to people's houses to diagnose them, and they were dying themselves. That they basically asked anyone, medical. You know the word surgery? You're a doctor. And you're a plague doctor. And so they would put on heavy leather garments because they thought leather kept out the plague. And they would wear this giant crow's beak mask
to keep people at bay.
No. The crow's
Fill
beak
it with-
mask they would fill the end with incense and light it because the stench of death was so bad, and because the suit was not completely impermeable. Most of them died as well. So, but yeah, most plague doctors were not doctors at all.
Todd, you're unmuted now. Sorry, buddy. That was Bob's fault.
Sorry, buddy.
Asshole. I've been freaking bitching for like 15 minutes.
Well, so Nick was reading this ghost story from start to finish, and it was,
I know. I was quiet for that whole bit.
No, that's the thing. You weren't. There was like little bits of like static coming through, which is an ongoing problem that we as a podcast need to fix. But I'm like, I got to stop that from interrupting the story. So I muted, and then I forgot when the story was over to take you off of mute.
Well, I appreciate Todd for not trying to interrupt me, and Bob for you taking care of the technical difficulty. Appreciate it.
Anytime, buddy. And with that, wait, hold on.
Hey,
Todd,
you
don't need to hear what Todd was saying.
Yeah, Todd, go ahead.
Well, it's all freaking lost. But in time, I was going to say, it feels like, though, the biggest person to blame is the first detective, because given the context you laid about how basic people were back in the 1800s, early 1900s, feels like the first question of fire detective was, has your wife done anything to make you angry this week?
No,
And
they
it feels
back
like
then.
not serving meat at dinner is like twist your neck off worthy. I mean,
But,
this should have been solved day one.
It kind of sounds like the guy was pretty evasive, so he could have been like, no, not at all. So now what? All right, well, have a good one.
He clearly wasn't covering up his craziness while dude was sitting there with him twisting his wife's neck and not wanting him to look at her neck.
Or Todd.
I think he'd have been like, we get along for the most part, except for the neighbors might bitch about the fact that 2 days ago, bitch didn't serve meat at dinner.
She didn't serve meat the other day, and I heard them yelling at each other.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, Cod.
Cod.
Lord Cod.
Now,
Lord Cod.
Now,
There's your title of 150.
Lord Cod.
now, if the detective sat down with the guy and was like, so has anything gone on recently that, could have brought this about? And the guy was like, yeah, she didn't make meat the other day. Do you think the detective was like, well, okay, she had it coming, and just walked out?
Well, it's actually better
yes.
yet, Cory.
It's the
Let's flip
1800s.
this on its head. What did you have for dinner for the last 7 days, sir?
Fish sticks.
Well, we had venison and corn, and then the next day we had a little hog balls and gravy, and then the third day we had a spinach casserole, vegetarian spinach casserole, and then after that, she didn't cook for me anymore.
Speaking of balls, smoothyourballs.com for all your shaving needs. Smoothmyballs.com.
Hog balls.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Go back to the second half.
The second half?
Wow.
Really?
The second half of the cod.
Second half of episode 150 for Schnozzcast. We got Todd.
Word.
Do we have
Yep,
Todd?
we do have Todd.
Todd, you there?
Word.
All right, sir. It's time for the airing of grievances.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what I think about you, and you're going to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want this to be, I want to hear how it goes, but even before I've heard a word, I want this to be a regular thing. I don't know how we do it, but maybe I don't know of any other podcasts that are doing an airing of grievances segment. So go ahead.
All right. So I have some grievances to air. I recently traveled, made a business trip from Seattle to Boston. And so before I get started with my airing of grievances, I want to say this is not intended to body shame anyone or even closely state that I have a good body. I'm a big fat old dude now. But my grievance is this. Yes, I used to be a freaking handsome stud of a man. Now I'm
Specimen
old
of a man, yeah.
and older and wider. But anyway, I was on a flight on my way back home this week. And so I have a couple of things. And I don't want to, again, not body shaming. I have a bad body. But there's a couple of things I realized. First, the flight attendants should not be built like bulls. And bulls like the animal bulls. Do you guys know who Will Sasso is?
Wait, hold on. What other
Can
bulls
you
would we be
specify
talking
what
about?
other
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could like not. I wasn't like just a big, beady dude, just huge, just a huge dude, like in every way big. You guys know who Will Sasso is, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So imagine a Will Sasso looking guy who's like 6'2" and weighs easily 360 and is wide as the aisle of an airplane. That was a flight attendant on my flight back.
Sounds like
And I don't know. And I'm not saying the airline should discriminate, but I'm like, somebody should review this because while we're on the plane, I normally sit next to the window so I can avoid this, but full flight, I actually tried to get on I got on a different flight to get back home a little bit earlier. Will Sasso's cousin, who's as big as a freaking house, is a flight attendant on my flight. And they push us and I'm on the aisle, which I'm normally in the window to avoid this, but I'm on the aisle. I'm a big guy, so my arm is in the aisle, so it takes up at least 4 or 5 inches into the aisle because I'm a wide gentleman. And so they push the cart up, and normally that cart hits me in the elbow before it actually gets to my shoulder. And I know, hey, bring it in a little bit because
That's how I know
the
it's time
cart's
to eat.
coming.
Time
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
drink.
Time for
Exactly.
a drink. Yeah.
Exactly. But this is the first time ever, though. They pushed the cart just past my seat, a row ahead of me, and then imagine Will Sasso's bull cousin frickin' pirouetting, handing out waters and peanuts and all manner of other things to people, and his ass had my face, my chest. This dude's ass was in my frickin' row more than my ass was in the seat for the 6-hour flight home. And I'm just saying, and by the way, since it's a 6-hour flight, these people did the same dance again later in the flight. And I'm like, no fucking way, dude. Your ass, my arms, I showered twice since I've been home. My arms like Will Sasso's ass. That's the one. My second grievance is this. Bitches as big as Will Sasso sitting a row ahead of me to my right where I can't avoid looking should not wear Adidas sweatpants and thongs.
Oh my goodness.
Those are my grievances.
So, Todd, my only takeaway is, from a generally non-politically correct person to a politically correct person, I feel like you have to recant most of what you said, because what you should really think about are other people's feelings, and you should really. There's a good chance that they might be listening to the show, and you just probably shouldn't be saying things like that because you have to put yourself in their shoes.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what Nick just said. I'm going to clarify and say, when you say, I don't mean to body shame.
I'm not body shaming. I'm just saying, dude, if I got a
should think of a
job next
different line
week,
of work.
What you're really trying to say is it's impractical for such a wide person to be occupying such a narrow space in a plane if the goal is to make other passengers comfortable.
correct.
That's not body shaming. That's just merely as a practicality.
I think what Todd was really saying there is what I heard at least was the airlines need to go back to the 1970s
We are 3 piggybacks deep right now, by the way.
back when
dudes used to drink and smoke a lot more and used to be a little thinner.
and could feel the stewardesses up and get away with it. I think that's what Todd was just saying.
Wow, this is a far cry from last week. So.
Yeah, that is true.
I do have to agree with Ty as being a taller individual. When you do have to sit in the aisle,
Hold on, I don't think anything of what Todd said
Had to
included
do
the word
with
taller.
height.
Well,
A lot of it was
taller,
wider.
I'm both.
Real
Yeah, we're
Sasso-like,
a little bit wider.
bullish.
Listen, I'm both. So when I sit in a seat, especially if you're in coach,
Yeah,
And you're
It's awful.
cod-like.
yeah,
Godlike.
exactly.
you son of a bitch.
It's when you're sitting there and you got your feet hanging, like my feet, like Todd's arm hangs out, my arm hangs out, and my foot hangs out, and I usually have to move my foot when the person in front of me wants to get out of their seat.
So couldn't the devil's advocate of this argument from Will Sasso's sister or brother,
Bull cousin, I think.
Bull cousin.
whatever it may be, would if they were here right now, which you can't necessarily talk about people when they're not in this, when they're not around to defend themselves.
What?
I'm going to.
But I mean, according to last week's Politically Correct, we want to do everything we can, right, to make everyone feel comfortable, and we're going to go the extra mile.
Exactly. And by the way, I love Will Sasso, so that's a freaking compliment.
So, but if that person were here, do you think they might be thinking, hey, buddy, how about lose a couple pounds so I'm not brushing my ass up against your elbow every time I'm trying to do my job? It's a plane. It's a small seat. Why don't you fly where there's some larger seats so I don't have to keep rubbing up against you each time? Because
I'm the paying customer. He's the employee.
That's a good point. Counterpoint.
Keep going. And I mean, Todd, you could also, with the the COD money that you have.
He does have a lot of COD money.
There is a thing called first class.
So again, if you'd listened to my story thoroughly or asked a clarifying question, I did state I got on a different plane that I had booked. And so therefore I was subject to normal people rules and first thing available was an aisle seat.
When you're Lord Cod.
Yeah. And that's when things went downhill. When I had to be treated like you fuckers.
When I had to be treated like an everyday person.
Sit back here with this and piss hands.
All of a sudden
I did it better the first time.
When the silver spoon was pulled from my lips, I tasted a very bitter medicine.
And it tasted like asshole.
Yep.
Will Sasso asshole.
Will Sasso asshole.
We put the better looking flight attendants in the first class area.
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
The aisle's a little bit wider, and they typically have the pixies up there.
And I think you were a little peeved because normally your aluminum alarm clock that hits you in the funny bone to remind you that you need another drink because you're drooling all over yourself sleeping in your seat didn't happen. So you abruptly were awakened by an asshole in your face, and that probably upset you and ruined your flight.
Yeah, normally at that point, Todd would have already had a hot towel on his face.
I was going to say, he had a hot towel.
Todd's like arm in the aisle.
Yep.
When the drink cart hits it,
right,
startles me, wakes me up. I see a beautiful flight attendant. I order a drink. It's perfect.
They say, more anything? He says, more everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Fellas, how can we make this a regular segment?
We just got to get Todd to fly more
fly
places.
somewhere every week.
Todd has to fly somewhere. I'm surprised he wasn't in his helicopter.
No, I think I don't know that you know Todd well enough, but Todd could come up with some grievances even if he's just going down to the Kroger.
I feel like these are larger people getting angry at other larger people. I have a glandular problem. Leave me alone. My thyroid's off.
I can be the only large person on this flight.
There ain't room for the two of us.
And all those stories start out with, I don't mean to body shame because I'm a big guy, but ...
Big Samoan motherfucker trying to serve me drinks.
Yeah.
Dude,
A rock came walking
I know
down the
this.
aisle.
If I got hired by an airline and they're like, "Hey Todd, so you're gonna be a flight attendant," I'd be awesome. I'm so excited. But here's the one thing: can I ask that I not serve the drinks during the meal settings? I'll man the doors. I'll freaking scrub the galley, whatever, because I don't want to have my ass in some dude's face the whole freaking time.
Where are you? Are you on a plane?
It's called the galley.
Who mans the doors?
And pretty sure you don't get to pick what you do as a flight attendant, Todd.
Yeah, you could do the seatbelt dance.
I like it. It sounded like he interviewed for anything on the plane, and they're like, "How about a flight attendant?" Like he wasn't. He was just
pilot, flight attendant.
Mechanic.
Who's the one watching the door? That's what I want to do.
That's exactly what I did.
Sir, I see flight attendant when I look at you. That's what you got.
I'm not sure if you understand. I used to be a bouncer.
I can slap the shit out of some unruly people on this plane.
But with the way people act on planes these days, you might need that. So it's okay.
Exactly.
I have what you call a bit of a weight problem.
Exactly. They offered me director of technology and flight attendant. And I'm like, I love to travel.
I love a challenge.
Exactly.
Got to be ready. All right, Cory.
Oh, it's the MF and Gentleman's Agreement. Oh, done.
All right, Todd. Since you got the floor,
Yes, sir.
You had to watch Tough Guy. I think it was by Cory.
Of course
It was. And so it's this is the toughest assignment ever. So I don't even know how to grade it, Cory. If you've seen, so let me tell you what it is. It's a documentary about the life of Bob Probert, how he grew up and entering the NHL all the way, and it covers up to his death. And if anybody's and that's why, quite honestly, when they got at that part in the film, when I knew that he left Tony's, I cried a lot. Actually, I woke my wife up and said, I feel like a total freaking heel. I actually was an enabler of a person with a really bad problem. I was a young guy. Bob was a little bit older than me, 4 years older than me. And I enabled a person with a problem to destroy themselves for a day. And I had no recollection or knowledge that he had been struggling in the way that he had. So it was I can't really grade it because I think that it was a lot of Bob's actual own words and I don't know. I think it felt like he recorded it on a handheld cassette recorder because the sound quality wasn't great, but I mean, it was it was very, very personal to me. I don't know that, and I definitely know that I won't recommend it to anybody because I'm embarrassed about my part in it. But I think it was well done.
Feeling good about yourself now?
How's that old pat on the back?
Well, clearly the point was not to make you feel that or have that.
No, and I know that, like I said, this is probably the only time ever that on this podcast someone will watch a show or an assignment that they were actually a part of.
Well,
literally.
And that was the reason why I did assign it to you, because I knew the story and the role that you had in I shouldn't say the role.
I'm surprised you haven't slapped me when you've heard me tell that story then, because that's what I took away from it. Anybody who's heard me tell that story and who's watched this thing should slap me in the face, and I deserve it.
Yeah, no. Well, and again, that was not the point. It was, but knowing the connection that you had and the one. I know,
like I said, I'm appreciative, Cory. I'm not knocking you. I'm not. This isn't a mad at Cory. This is,
I know,
like I said, I think it's a 1 in a million. The fact that this is a documentary that has someone that I've not only met but actually interacted with, and when you see what the documentary is about, you can't help but feel that way. And
right.
Not cool.
And like I said, thank you for giving it to me, because at the end of the day, it's going to make me a better person for the rest of my days.
You're welcome,
Todd. Just so you know, if you asked me to, I would slap you in the face right now, without hesitation, because I love you.
Yep. So if you're listening, don't watch it unless you're truly a hockey fan, because it actually, from that perspective, some good highlights. It was so awesome seeing Stu Grimson and Shelley, because again, I had the opportunity during those days to actually hang out with some of those guys. So I have some great Dallas Drake stories as well. But it was very, very cool to actually see something made, and no, I wasn't in it, but I absolutely was tangibly a part of it, and was with many of the people who were in it many, many times. So that was pretty cool.
Well, cool and uncool, I guess, for my response to your review of it. So,
all right, are we done?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's
sorry.
No,
that was more than 30 seconds.
No, it's fine. I felt like there was more, and I didn't. It was a very complex review for a number of reasons, so I didn't want to cut it off. Cory, you had to watch Enemy at the Gates.
I did from Greg. Yes. Yep. So, your classic World War II film, but it's based around some sniper teams that are overseas and fighting in Stalinburg. Ooh, excuse me.
Is this spoiler free or spoilery?
No, it's spoiler free.
Okay.
The the first thing that the cast, Ed Harris is in it as a Nazi general, which in any war movie, Ed Harris pops up. I'm like, well, this is going to be good because he's in every single war movie as some sort of bad dude. So they couldn't have gone wrong with that. But it's about this sniper team that's it's basically the World War II version of American Sniper. Like they weren't American on either side. It was the Germans versus the Russians at this point. But the Russian side was basically the Chris Kyle of their time and their era. They were going out and just picking off Germans left and right. And the Germans were trying to figure out, like, how do we stop this sniper that's just killing off all of our soldiers, all of our repairmen, our radio men, like just taking 28 guys a day, and killing us in numbers. But the biggest takeaway from me and the most interesting part was how war was then. They were basically the sniper himself, Versailles. He was writing in the paper, the Russian paper every day, basically telling his exploits of how he was killing Germans and every shot he took, and it was being written in the daily paper to boost the morale of the Russians to say, yeah, we're doing good, like we're getting a hold on the Germans and taking advantage of them. So like that, because obviously stuff like that would never be written in a paper nowadays. Like that just would be unheard of. And secondly, they were collecting every kill he had. They would go out and collect the dog tags of who they killed, and they were posting those in the papers. And I'm like, oh man, like that's crazy, because stuff like that just would not be okay whatsoever today. But back then, that was to boost the Russian people's spirits, to show like, oh yeah, we're doing good. We're kind of getting an upper hand on the Germans. So that was a very, very cool thing to see. And I shouldn't say cool, but it was eye opening. The downsides, there was of course a love story mixed in with a female sniper that was working. I'm like, yeah, that clearly didn't happen.
Was she hot?
The Russians had so many Russian, like the women.
Female snipers?
Oh, 100%. Look into it. They were all over the place.
And not saying that wasn't, but the love story in itself, that was like, oh, okay, it would be like taking Saving Private Ryan and mixing in like a love interest.
But if she's hot.
Yeah, she wasn't the greatest, but I mean, in real life she might be, but in the movie, it's nothing to
they put some ugly makeup on her?
Nothing to write home about.
Okay, gotcha.
But all around a great movie. Especially if you're a fan of that era and those movies, definitely check it out. And I'm actually surprised I hadn't seen it. The second it started, I was like, yeah, this is really crazy. I haven't seen this. So great pick, man. Enemy at the Gates. If you haven't seen it, I would say check it out.
Where'd you find it?
Hulu, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, between 1941 and 1945, a total of 2,484 Soviet female snipers were functioning in this role.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of them out there.
Greg.
Yes.
You had Dark from Nick.
Yes, I did.
He just blanked out for a second.
Yeah.
No. He looked at me like, no, I didn't.
That's not what I watched.
Oh, yeah, I guess
I did. I watched 2 episodes. They're, I think, about an hour long, 45 minutes long, something like that. I made a mistake. I decided to watch it with my new screen up because, I have that new screen to go watch all these movies in. But because it's subtitled, subtitles are rather large on a 110-inch screen. And so I really couldn't tell what was going on exactly because I was too busy going like this to read everything.
Oh, my God. You should just put dubbing on.
I thought I'm going to, though, because I actually was like interested in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So it is definitely something that is like right up my alley, so to speak. And
it gets fucking weird.
Yeah, it's already weird 2 episodes in.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, what is going on?
So we've had a couple of reviews of Dark already.
Yeah.
So, and I can't remember whether they were spoiler free or not. But so is this going to be a spoiler free review or?
I'll do my best. It's from what I gathered so far. It's it kind of bounced back and forth because I only watched 2 episodes, but it starts off, I think, in 84 or 85, somewhere in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
Kid goes missing, and then it looks like they fast forward to more of a present time. To me, what I gathered is like the kid came back to modern time, but as a kid from when he was lost, because a couple other kids went missing. So I really haven't got too deep into the story.
The dubbing is actually pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, because I was watching it, I think the first episode, maybe 30 minutes in, and it was one of the things where I thought, I'm like, oh, did I have to pause this and then start it again? Like, is just the audio off? You know, like I didn't realize that it was like a German show.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, so far though, like it's like I said, that's kind of the stuff that I like. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I probably should have turned it off that TV and went to a different TV. But
I mean, you don't have to switch. It's because it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go to the dubbing with the English. I saw it in there, and I'm like,
just click English dubbing, and it's perfect. They do a pretty good job at it. So
yeah, and that's fine. Like because like I said, I can, if I know it's dubbed, I don't really pay attention to the whole like
the lips,
the lip thing.
Yeah.
That's not a factor. But so far, I'm gonna continue to watch it. I mean, it's
I would even say to if you
I'm gonna start it over.
Yeah, having
and watch
gathered
the dub.
that much, then just rewatch it dubbed.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
There's 3 seasons, so it's perfect. Somebody kind of like binge nonstop.
For sure.
All right. Thanks, man. Nick, you had The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
I did. And 30-second synopsis. It's a John Wayne movie, black and white, Western cowboy movie. Did not go how I thought it was going to go. But I will say, even though it may just be me, 30-second synopsis aside, now that that's over, it may just be me that I have an old soul, but I absolutely fucking loved it. I mean, I really loved it. Like I was, the part that it was so old, I thought, oh, here we go. This is fucking black and white. Like this is really gonna date this, because I can watch, like the Bill Murray fucking shit from the 80s when I was alive, and I'm like, I can't fucking watch this. And this, I don't know. I just really, really, really liked it. I know I have an older soul, so that time period kind of appeals to me, but I really enjoyed it. It wasn't what I expected. And if you even remotely like any kind of cowboy flicks, it was, I think, my second John Wayne, I think.
Well, I gave you McClintock.
Yes.
Which was John Wayne.
I think it was my second.
And
because I watched a lot of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, there was a ton of Clint Eastwood that I assigned you.
But I don't know. I just absolutely loved it. I enjoyed every part of it. I was on the edge of my seat watching it, and it was just really cool. So I would highly recommend it.
I can't ask for anything more than that. I'm glad you liked it.
Definitely.
All right, so to close it out, I had Titans, or as Cory would say, Titans.
Titans.
I didn't realize I said it that much differently than you guys.
The Titans.
I think I asked you, and you're like, Titans?
The Titans.
I thought it said Titian.
No, you said Titians. And I know that because I had to listen to it again. So, I'll do a spoiler for your review because Cory literally just reviewed this like a couple of weeks ago.
Last week?
Was it last week?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
That was I stated that was the first time I was going to do a back-to-backer.
Yeah. And you. So I think you took a risk with Cory because
100%.
Yeah, but me, you probably didn't because I'm a.
That was a home run right off the bat, and Todd knew that.
Yeah, but I did not enjoy it. And I watched the first
What
3
the
episodes.
fuck? Hang on.
I did not. I watched the first 3 episodes and I didn't like it. And I'm like, I was like perplexed. I'm like, why don't I like this? I love superhero shit. And so I was trying to figure it out. And I think I came to the conclusion that number one, I'm a Marvel guy. And this is
not a DC Comics.
This is a DC Comics thing, and I've seen a lot of DC. I've seen all of Tim Burton's Batmans. I've seen all of Christopher Nolan's movies. I've seen Batman vs Superman, Justice League, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad. I've seen all that shit, and I think it's just I think Cory said it. Cory said it very well last week. Thank God for Minka Kelly.
Yes.
And they're definitely trying to go very edgy with this, like super edgy.
Yes.
Like
yes.
In the first 10 minutes of the first episode, the kid who's playing Dick Grayson, who's playing Robin, literally says, "Fuck Batman." I don't think that's a spoiler.
Yes.
But
it's not. But
it really sets the tone for this is what fucking kind of show you're about to watch. And there's a ton of things, but when they're not trying to be very, very graphically violent, I'm like, why don't I like this? I couldn't. I thought about it all week, and I'm like, I think it comes down to I'm not a fan of the way that DC, like Marvel, the way that they do it, tend to try to build it all about character. And the action and that kind of shit kind of follows as a result of the character development and their interplay, but they also, like, they're always like busting each other's balls. They're always like, no one ever refers to anybody by their superhero name. It's always by some nickname from the comics. And it's all kind of, it's a lot about the character. And when I watch this show, I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of these characters because they never really develop who they are, and they don't really.
It's thrown together.
They're thrown together, and they don't. They're treating it like it's Shakespeare, like it's super serious, and it's all dark, and it's a lot of grays, and you know what I mean. It's a very grim show, and there's not a whole lot to be. When I go to see a Marvel movie, I walk out of there most times, not everyone, but most times, fully erect.
I knew it.
And I had a great time. I had a great time, and I had fun. That was a great movie. I can't really say I had a great time watching this because it was all. I'm like, okay.
If you don't know the background, you're not going to know who the characters are. These were for me, same thing. Like if you watch a Marvel movie, they explain who the character is.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You can get a ton of background on Winter Soldier. You didn't get a ton of background on
Ant-Man.
I
mean, they kind of led up into it. But no, I'm saying between the Marvel versus DC type thing.
And actually, here's the thing. Bob, I totally respect it.
Hold on, Todd. I got to episode 3, which was the Origins episode. And so I did see that they tried to give some backstory on some of these characters, and it was still more of the same, like very grim, gray, dour-faced, super serious. You know what I mean? I couldn't. I'm like, I think it's just a fundamental difference between when Marvel puts out a thing, they definitely had a plan. They had a plan that stretched out over 10 years. 10 years. 20-some films. Hold on, dude. I'm still getting my review.
Shut the fuck up, Todd.
I got a point to make. And DC would try to do the same thing. They put out a movie, and then it wouldn't do as well as the whatever Marvel movie was at the box office at the time. They'd go, all right, we're going to scrap the whole thing. We're going to start all over again, recast the character. Now we're going to do a totally different thing. And they would have done like a post-credit scene in the DC movie that now it doesn't mean anything because they're like, we're changing direction. And they give the reins to who did Justice League, Zack Snyder. And they're like, no, we don't like the way you did it. And so we're going to bring some other guy to do a whole bunch of reshoots. And it's a big jumbled mess because there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And they didn't have one guy like lording over the whole operation going like, I fully believe in comics. I'm passionate about them. And we're going to make some rules that you need to adhere to. And here's what I want to see in every, you know what I mean? And they have that at Marvel. They have that with Kevin Feige, but not at DC. I don't think they do. And I think that was the difference, Todd. And I think that's why I just could not get on board.
And so I am fine with that. But just so you know, My intent was to give it to you this way. Did you like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage? What I thought, this was DC's attempt at actually thwarting, because again, you compared this thing to movies, and I thought this was a darker, grimmer. Jessica Jones is a drunk. That's very grim, because she gets off on sex and beating down people and a vigilante. She's got mental health issues and all this other, and family woes. I thought what my comparative was that. And what I like about it is I'm watching multiple characters be developed in a single show. Whereas even though there's some crossover between Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and who's the dude, Iron Fist, and all. Yeah. And again, I liked all those things. I like the fact that these guys are going Resident Evil dark and then pulling everybody into a single series. And that was my comparative. And again, it didn't land with you, but that was why I just wanted to say, I wouldn't assign you anything. That's why I thought it was a slam dunk, but that's my compare is I love all those Marvel side series, but this is the conglomerate. It's the DC's version of Bad Boys. The series,
Bad Boys?
Not Bad Boys.
Batman?
No. The series about the other superheroes, the bad ones though. Shit, I have to think of the name. No. It's a series.
Oh, man, I think you've stumped everyone in the room here, Todd.
Hang on, I'll give it to you in 1 second.
While you're looking at that, I'll say, and I apologize, this is going on for quite a while, but I thought it was edgy. I thought it was ballsy, and it did something that I haven't seen. Because I watched Gotham, and I don't know if you watched Gotham, Todd.
Yep.
I watched the whole series, and that had its problems. I think this one had its problems, but I like the fact they took some chances and they tried to do something a little bit different and try to take some of those characters darker than I'd ever seen some of them go, like Deadpool dark. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But a lot of that shit had already been done. Like, I've already seen a Gotham series. I've already watched a Deadpool movie. And to your point about the Defenders for Marvel, I watched all that shit too. And some of it was good, like Jessica Jones and Daredevil was great. Punisher was fantastic. Iron Fist sucked
Punishers was awesome, yes.
Iron Fist sucked ass. And so sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. But each one of those characters you got to see the character development. Here you didn't get that. You got a whole bunch of people thrown into a thing. They didn't get their own series. You didn't really see the background. It was like a...
No,
it was like starting with the Avengers movie rather than having like we're gonna have.
This is multiple, movie, but remember this is multiple seasons.
Then we're gonna have a Captain America movie, but I started up with the first season and literally I've got like 6 superheroes thrown in by episode 2, so that might have been one of the problems. But
yep, I'm with you.
But I appreciate that because I'd seen it. I didn't know what it was about. I never gave it a chance, and I did. So I would say I give it a C+.
I love it. The Boys.
The Boys, so
okay.
good.
That's what you were trying to remember. Okay, awesome.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so we got down to this. We're going to do new assignments, but first, Todd, get your Crown Apple out.
I do.
Schnozzcast shot. If you're out there and you've got alcohol within reach, grab it and do it with us.
Sweet Machu Picchu.
In case anyone's wondering what anyone else in the room is drinking but Todd Dillon. Wait, hold on.
You don't like that?
I'm so glad.
Like a liquid Werther.
Clearly not.
I'm pissed I wasted it on you now.
No. It just was a shocking amount of butterscotch in that. I know it's butterscotch,
so good.
but it was so butterscotchy.
That was phenomenal.
And because it wasn't in a shot glass, it was like slow
glug 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 glug
glug glug glug glug glug glug.
So
like, Jesus Christ.
So Bob and I had purchased Dr. McGillicuddy's apple pie, which we do on the river all the time. Cory, not knowing that, had gone to the store and got something for himself, some Pink Lady lemonade or something.
Pink Whitney.
Whatever. And
not much better.
And he also bought some shooters, which were Dr. McGillicuddy's apple
thank you,
pie.
by the way.
Dr. McGillicuddy's apple pie and butterscotch, and so that was Bob's first run on the butterscotch.
We've never had butterscotch before.
Knowing what butterscotch tastes like, completely refused. I don't want ice cream topping going down my throat mixed with alcohol. That's disgusting. And Bob proved me wrong apparently. So
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
You're welcome.
I would rather do a peppermill flavored shot than butterscotch.
Holy
Yes.
shit. Trademark that shit.
Butterscotch sucks.
All right. New assignments. I have drawn Cory. Todd, you have Greg. Cory, you have Todd. Greg, you got Nick. And Nick, you got me.
All right. Bob, I'm just going to ask you this first, just in case I have to deep dive and look for something else. I'm sure this is something you've probably already seen, but let me ask you. Have you seen Gimme Danger?
Is it a show or a series?
Documentary.
I don't think so.
He ain't seen shit.
I'll take it.
Gimme Danger is on Amazon for free.
Okay. I got it. Dude, that was probably the easiest Gentleman's Agreement you've ever had.
And it could not, I was keeping my fingers crossed that I would get you tonight because it could not be more of a Bob documentary.
So let me get this straight. We started off the podcast with getting ready to go live, and you gave me like 4 different things that you had prepared, and you watched your Gentleman's Agreement, and you actually watched something new that you'd never seen before.
Specifically up your alley that I could give it to you. Yep.
Dude.
I know.
Let's just...
I'm setting the bar way too high. It's all downhill from here.
Give it up for Nick for setting a personal best on the podcast for effort.
It was definitely not something that I would have watched on my own, but I forced myself to watch it. I liked it, and I think you will too.
I appreciate it, buddy. Okay. So, Cory, I got you. And I'm going to try to let me try to put it on this list and see what are the ones that you are most likely to have already seen. Have you seen The Martian?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen Monty Python's Life of Brian?
No.
Are you a Monty Python fan?
The Holy Grail is about the only thing for me.
Have you seen anything other than the Holy Grail?
It's been a while, but yeah.
So you have seen other ones?
Yeah.
Okay. How about Ford versus Ferrari?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
During the COVID days.
Back when it was just me and a pile of fish sticks.
Not even fish
And
sticks.
a bucket next to the couch.
It was just me and TV.
Okay, so good to know. I'm going to give you... Oh, I'm going to hold off on that one. Oh, that's going to be...
The hand jobs later.
I know exactly.
Oh, all right.
I know exactly what I'm going to assign that one to you, but
I
not
know
today.
what I'm giving you later.
All right, I'm going to give you Eastern Promises.
Okay.
I know you want to.
Subtitles.
Yes.
No. You'll be happy to know it's all in English. Well, mostly in English.
Eastern Promises. This does
right.
not sound promising, but
You're going to fucking love it, dude.
Oh, God, there's parts where I have to read? Fuck.
I didn't sign up for this.
All right.
Teehee.
Greg, you got Nick.
Yes, I do. I have 2 since you're going down the John Wayne rabbit hole.
Yes.
My old man is a
Dude, mine was
fan.
2.
of John Wayne. Just absolute favorite.
Him and all of his brothers.
Yeah, it's unreal. Do you want Western or do you want war?
Western.
Western. Rooster Cogburn. It's one of his later movies, but
Hold on a
I
minute.
had 2.
I'm just at, so the character that he plays in Rooster Cogburn,
Yes,
did he play that same character in an earlier movie that you would have seen? If you didn't see it, then it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
because Bob's
You
probably
gotta-
thinking chronologically if he wants to.
yeah. So that's just true. It is True Grit.
Haven't seen it.
Watch that one
That's
first.
all.
Yes,
thank
that's
you.
good call.
I was
good
just
call.
trying to. I'm like,
I
that
forgot
sounds
about that.
familiar.
Yep.
And now hold on.
Not the remake.
Right.
Watch the
The
John
original.
Wayne, the original.
Right.
Yep.
There's a remake with Jeff Bridges, the dude, in True Grit, but not that one, the original
Correct.
with John Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I'm like, I think that same character is.
That's. I was thinking. I'm like, why is that? I didn't think it
then
was
you
the
could prob-
movie.
If he likes it, then you could probably hit him. No, so you have seen the original True Grit.
Yes.
And you've seen Rooster Cogburn.
Yes.
So you might decide to at some point down the road hit him with Rooster
Later.
Cogburn.
Yeah. Like I said, my dad was like a huge fan. It still is.
I appreciate you guys putting this much thought into it. That's awesome.
Yeah. You seem.
I was gonna go down the Pauly Shore rabbit hole with him, but I'm gonna be nice.
Yeah, were you?
I think that's Cory's bailiwick specifically.
I've got one sitting on deck. Oh yeah.
No.
Did he like?
Oh, I
any
know.
of
I
them?
have three.
No, he didn't.
I think
Cory thinks it's a funny punishment, but it's supposed to be something that I will like.
it's ingrained in my mind that Nick did say that he loved In the Army Now.
I did.
Exactly. So
That was a
we'll just
mistake.
keep on lobbing you Pauly Shore movies until you hit another one on the park.
But now
I
you're
have made a huge mistake.
yeah, but now you're 50-50. I liked one and I hated the other. So
Which two did you give him so
I'm
far?
a gambling man, Nick. Which one did I give him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Biosphere.
Biodome. That's like
Biodome.
one of the greatest movies ever.
No, it was not. It was horrible.
I loved it.
It was so fucking stupid. It was, if you watched it in 91, it was probably amazing. But
I can watch it now and still laugh.
20
100%
Yeah,
watch it right now and laugh my ass off.
Yeah, if you originally watched it when it came out, you probably would.
I didn't see it when it originally came out. I was too young.
Well, then you guys are fucking complete idiots.
So the true Git version with John Wayne was from 1969.
Sounds good.
Should have no problem deciphering.
Okay, so Nick's covered.
I haven't gone yet.
Well, okay,
Oh.
Todd, you got Nick. No. Sorry, Todd, you got,
I thought I had
you got
Greg.
Greg. You got
Like,
Greg.
how many movies am I watching?
You got Greg.
All of them.
I got Greg. Greg, I'm going to go out on a limb. This is a movie that I've seen, but I've seen recently, and I really, really liked it. Could be a solid C, or it could be a A plus. Why are your hands raised?
Trying to act as an antenna for the mixer to make sure
That's
that you're
right.
coming through.
That's what happens when you start breaking up a little bit. That's
Yeah, no, keep
Bob
going.
Got
knows
it.
it.
Keep going.
No, so the movie that I'm assigning to Greg is Midnight in the Garden of Eden.
Midnight.
Midnight in the Garden of Eden or Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
That's the book.
Okay.
So
And I think you can get it on. No, I'm signing the
I know,
movie.
I'm kidding.
It's hard. It's going to be hard. It doesn't come up on your Google search right away because Kevin Spacey's in it.
Oh, it's been blacklisted, huh?
Yeah, it has.
You really got to search
I'm like,
for that
oh,
shit.
they haven't stripped all this shit off yet.
So Midnight in the Garden of.
Good and Evil.
No, Eden.
No, good in the Garden of Eden. I'm sorry, that's the movie.
No. The movie is also called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Hang on.
Yeah, it
I
has
double
John
checked.
Cusack.
Yep. Is it Good and Evil or Eden?
Yes.
Garden of Good,
Good
and
and
Evil.
Evil.
All right,
Good
so
and Evil.
Midnight in the Garden of Eden.
No. Good.
Garden of Good and Evil. Shut up.
All right. If that's
Perfect.
the one. John
2.5
Cusack.
hours long.
Yeah,
Perfect.
John Cusack, Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, unnamed actor.
Redacted. We can just bleep that out.
It's
Have you
a
seen it?
tough-
I have not.
Okay.
Okay. Seen it, Bob?
I have seen it, yeah.
This is definitely I'm out on the ledge.
Why? Because it's Kevin Spacey?
No, because it's Greg.
But it's not a zombie movie or a horror
right.
movie. So
It's exactly. I'm like,
like,
I know
hold on.
I know how to hit
but
a
I
home.
do like a lot of
Based on
movies,
what
so-
Greg's given me, I know what I could give him to get A's every week.
I've probably already seen it.
But I love the fact that you're going on a limb and trying not specifically to just get an A, but to
Correct. I'm trying. I think it's a quality. I think it's a quality film, done very well, touching on some things that are. It was before its time, and it's before. There's a lot to like about it, and again, I don't want to. I want Greg to see it because I'm like, it's not one that I would have watched, and I did, and I'm happy I did.
I found it on Amazon Prime, so
And
it's $3 on Amazon Prime. So
And if you don't, if you hate it, I'll pay you back.
no biggie.
And Todd feels one of the actors got a bad rap. So
Yeah,
No, I don't feel that at all. He got the rap he deserved.
I just paid.
he didn't
I
say it was
just-
Kevin Spacey. Could have been any actor in that movie.
that's exactly.
Yeah.
I just paid $3.99 to watch Top Gun for the 150th time.
Just buy it, dude. Just buy it.
Oh, you want to hear what sounds great on my surround sound? Hold on 1 second. Purchase.
Yep.
Damn it, it's been over 48 hours again.
All right, Corey, you got Todd.
Todd, you have Tom Segura, Ball Hog.
I think I saw that one.
Did you? God damn it.
I think you assigned it to me. Hey, Bob, can you check the OneNote?
You did. You did on July 9th.
I thought I did. I couldn't find it in the notes. There's too many movies here now.
It's on OneNote, dude.
Corey's had a lot of note problems tonight.
You could do a find in OneNote on Tom Segura.
This was on my note that.
No, there's only one note, and that is
One
shared
note.
Schnozzcast notes.
No, he has his personal
I have my
notes.
own personal notes.
And
that I
then
have.
CoreyTalks.cc,
Yeah,
he also
so-
keeps notes.
Okay.
Okay, but I am going to go off.
Unfortunate.
I'm going to go off that, Todd, and you're going to go with Bert Kreischer, Secret Time.
You know you already assigned him a Bert Kreischer comedy special that he didn't like.
God damn
I mean,
it.
just so you're aware. Not that same
Yeah, well, I was
one,
just
but
saying, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one.
Now, if your contention is that this is the special that's going to turn it all around in Todd's mind about Bert Kreischer, then
Of course it is his contention, because when you don't
was-
like something and he likes it, then he just keeps reassigning you things with that person in it.
hold on, guy who's assigned dark to every single person in the room. Sometimes that's what you do.
If people don't like it, I won't assign it again. People are liking it.
Fair enough.
He's assigning things that people don't like, and he's like, well, wait a second. Here's another one with that person. Maybe you'll like it now.
I mean, technically, he's not breaking any rules by doing it. So
No. Like I said, at the end of the day, I don't remember. I don't remember what grade I gave it, but I didn't give it an F.
I mean, the good thing about comedy specials is it's only an hour, so
Right.
you're saving yourself half the time.
All right, well, we'll completely switch it up then. We'll go with Generation Hustle. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Bob, yours is, I think, only an hour and 16 minutes.
So going back, have you seen the Zack Snyder cut of? No.
Not yet. I would like to.
Do you want to come over and watch that when I get it all done?
Fuck yeah.
Why don't you guys
All right.
just get a fucking room and get married?
We will, with some Raisinets and some fucking popcorn.
Seriously, buying couches together, watching movies? You're kind of infringing on our friendship here.
All right. I detect a
We
little
can do
jealousy.
yes, we can do the Evil Dead, and then we can do the Zack Snyder cut.
And the locks
That's
will be
a
changed
weird
next time
double
you guys
feature,
come
but
back to
okay.
the Schnozzcast. We're going to have a whole
In fact,
new host.
The Zack Snyder cut of that film is probably not a good candidate for a double feature, given that I think
It's 4
isn't it
hours
like 4
long.
hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
It's a
40
perfect
minutes
candidate
long,
then.
he's going to
It's
fall
a
asleep.
perfect
So
candidate.
good luck with that.
So Todd, I've ventured.
Do you know how many Raisinets you're going to need to keep me away for a
I have
4-hour movie?
I have 15 boxes left.
Greg,
That's enough.
just
I was
serve,
about to say 15 boxes.
Just serve more wine and heavy gravy, and he'll
Perfect.
be upset.
So Todd, I've
lot of
turned
chicken
one of my
fat.
back rooms into a movie room with a
Yep.
projector and a 110-inch screen.
Nice.
It's gotten a little ridiculous,
You're-
but it's
you-
pretty awesome.
You know, you're talking to the guy that has 17 TVs, right?
That's fine. Does he have one that's 110 inches?
Probably.
He's got one that's 140 inches.
I hope he does, because we're coming out to watch movies.
Todd, you
So
need
I-
to make a purchase.
No. Actually, so actually, it's funny you bring it up. I will not have one in my home, but there's where our fire pit sits. We're actually trying to get a screen made that's going to be about 200 inches in.
Oh, he's,
Boom!
4K
Yes.
He's
on the
boom.
side of the house.
Fuck you, Greg. Boom.
he's having
Done.
it. Greg, he's having it made. Did you have it made?
I had to make it.
You just
By the way,
bought
I'd
it.
like to
put
point
that
out
screen
too
together.
that Todd is diverting all of his Chicken Palace money specifically just to build a new screen to say "fuck you, Greg" as a middle finger to you, Greg.
I'm
really is.
actually,
My
No,
chickens are going to suffer.
No, it's funny.
Just to fuck you.
I think the funniest thing is that though, like literally, because I've been saying, literally, I do love television and video technology, and I'm a dork around it and have way more audio video stuff than I should. But when you sit at our fire pit, everybody that's ever come over is like, "This is awesome." The only thing to make it better is if there is a screen on the side of your house, because then we could watch a movie from here next to the fire. And I'm like, well, yeah, we're making that happen.
Todd actually had said before that he did the TV is so large that he's getting made that he never had room for it, and until a 200-year-old tree fell and almost took out his house, it cleared so much land that now they're putting a giant TV in.
It's gonna be a drive-in movie.
That's
is what
fine.
it's gonna
I
be.
will come out there and watch movies. Send the private
Let's all
helicopter.
go to
Let's
the
go.
lobby.
Actually, so hey, Greg, when you come out, here's the beauty part. We'll watch a movie on the 80-inch screen and then we'll play Mario Kart on the two 55-inch displays on the other side together while we watch that movie. We'll
And
do
we'll
that.
have lots of consensual sex.
That's right.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
What Todd did.
Your
Until you
kisses
fall
taste
asleep.
disgusting.
Until you fall asleep.
your kisses taste like apple crown.
No.
And butterscotch.
It's gonna taste like some 21-year-old Balvenie.
Oh my
that I'm
god!
bringing with me.
See, what Todd didn't tell Mary was he was out there every day taking a little sliver out of that tree.
Yeah. Todd's
Oh, a tree fell in the house? How about that, Mary?
Todd's like, your beard's much softer than it appears on the show.
I love that Greg's planning what liquor he's going to have to bring because he knows he's going to be assaulted. He's like, well, this is what I'd like it to taste like.
If I'm going to slip away
Listen,
gently.
I'm gonna make it the best I can.
You have to do as many shots as possible at the beginning. Front load it. It'll be
No,
much
I think
easier on you.
we need to plot the podcast. I think like podcast 162. Maybe that should be the one where we do it. We actually make this happen out here. We'll actually do the podcast and we'll have it up on the screen. On the big
I don't know, Todd. I think I might just take off and get a hotel room, Mary. Looks like Greg needs some lemonade. Why don't you go in the kitchen and fetch Greg some? No, I don't really want any lemonade. Mary, get Greg some lemonade. All the autonomous door locks click at the same time.
Greg's gonna be on that flight to Todd's house. Feel that ass bump against his arm. Turn around, it's gonna be Todd in the aisleway.
The Will Sasso.
Will Sasso's bull cousin. I don't know where we go from here, fellas, but
Your top 5 picks.
Yeah, we still have the top
Top
5 picks.
movies.
well, we also have pick of the week. However, do you want to keep it under 2 hours?
I mean, we're gonna be over that if we go.
No.
If we do the top 5 picks, we're gonna be
If
over.
we stop right now, we'll be fine.
No, let's do. I fucking put my top 5 picks down. So
We can save it for next week.
no, let's do it. Let's do it.
He
So it's
chiseled it onto
not
some
as-
slate.
Not as important as keeping it under 2 hours. Then
No, I don't care about the
okay.
2
So
hour
we're on
thing.
top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so top 5 holiday viewing. Who would like to go first, gentlemen?
I got you.
All right, let's start.
Number 5,
Okay, now count them down.
The Office, all the holiday episodes.
Okay.
Okay.
Num-
Okay. There's no hard and fast rules, so I'm not going to say like that doesn't qualify. So you can say whatever you want,
Thank you.
unless it's clearly not related to any holiday at all.
No, they are. Number 4, It's a Wonderful Life. Number 3, Elf. Number 2, Christmas Vacation. Number 1, A Christmas Story.
Solid list. I did not know that you had seen A Wonderful Life, the original with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh God, yeah. It's the only one to watch.
Well, I feel like it was probably remade at least once, right?
I don't. Yeah, if it has, I've never seen the remake. I think it was it was made in like an all digital high def version in color.
What was?
Oh yeah, blasphemy.
Yeah, no, I didn't know the original black and white. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Greg,
So number 5, go back to the childhood. Number 4, number 5, the old Rudolph, the original. I think it's like the claymation Rudolph.
the Rankin Bass
Yes.
animation. Yeah.
Yep. I used to watch that as
No
a kid.
relation.
Still will watch it. The Charlie Brown Christmas, just because. A Christmas Story. Every time at Christmas, I watch it because it's on 24 hours a day. On
my number one
whatever it is.
pick. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I watch that every year. Depending on how long I'm at home,
Yeah.
I will watch that 2 to 4 times.
Good Lord.
I don't know why.
It stays.
I just have to watch it
But
on
that's
Christmas.
not your number one.
It's not my number 1.
Okay, what's your number one?
Well, I have National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. I have to watch that.
That's
Around
your
Christmas?
number one, or that's number 2?
Die Hard is my number 1 Christmas movie.
Gotcha.
I watch that every Christmas. I watch it. I'll watch it Black Friday, and then when I'm putting up my Christmas tree, and then I watch it on Christmas. And I can't wait to watch it on the big screen.
That's a great mic drop. All right.
There's my 5.
Todd Dillon.
All right. It's going to be a controversial list. Number 5, Bad Santa.
Nice.
Number 4, Jingle Jangle.
I'm sure it's on Nick's list too.
favorite movie.
Something fucking.
He gave it props. It was inappropriate for his age group.
Yeah, it was.
Number 3, Die Hard. Number 2, The Night Before.
The night before Christmas?
No, that's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Seth,
Yeah.
Oh, there's a movie called The Night Before?
Was that
Seth Rogen, baby.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's a great movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh,
Are you talking about the Christmas movie with Seth Rogen and the other guy, and they're and
the dude with the
guy wearing the
hair,
shirt in the place,
with the shirt,
and the words.
aren't they like in like a holiday sweater or something? They're like
Sweater.
in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good movie.
you've seen that?
and
Yeah,
A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story's your number 1? Okay.
Good pick.
Hell,
Todd.
dude, the Red Ryder BB gun.
He'll
I
shoot
want
right
that.
at
Mary
you.
gets mad.
Carbine action, dual shot, range model air rifle.
Mary gets mad because I will actually. So the day and a half that you do the marathon, when it's on again and again and again and again, I watch that the whole day.
Same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's on for 24 hours. It's meant to be watched that way.
Nick Bader.
Hell yeah.
So by no means do I like religiously watch this shit every year. I don't watch a lot of movies, as you know, or may not know. But my top 5, I would say, in no order, would be Muppets Christmas Carol, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It has to be, and that's for Halloween and Christmas. The Rudolph Claymation, the Santa Claus. I love the Tim Allen movie. Charlie Brown Christmas. And I will say, I overheard Cory in the background while I was in the bathroom, holding my swans, and I have done this.
Unnecessary.
I have done this for Thanksgiving, but
Held your Schwans?
I've
His
done
hands
as
were
well.
that small.
But I never pieced it together as like its own thing. It was just something I always did. I always went back and watched every Thanksgiving episode of Friends.
Yeah,
I would do that like every year. So
Okay.
it didn't necessarily make the list because it's not its own thing.
But you did The Office, and I think that's of the same, in the same
exactly.
spirit.
Yeah.
yep.
Awesome. So mine is number 5, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated, not the Jim Carrey one. Number 4, Miracle on 34th Street, the original. Number 3 is Die Hard. Number 2, Charlie Brown Christmas, and number 1, Christmas Story.
Yeah, boy.
So I don't. So have you seen A Christmas Story?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Christmas Story's great.
But didn't make your top 5.
It's just, again, it's not necessarily a hard and fast top 5. Christmas Story I'll definitely watch if it comes on. It's not something I have to watch. Nightmare Before Christmas, I do have to watch it every year. But our good friend Tony actually stayed in the Christmas Story house. Stayed the night there. If anyone's listening.
Fragile.
Yeah.
Must be
Christy and a friend just went down to Cleveland, and
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, took
not a-
pictures of it.
It's not a competition, Bob. It's just a story I
No,
was
it's
telling.
yeah.
Yeah.
True, but if it was, you'd be losing because this was more recent. So
Because it was more recent?
yeah, it was literally last weekend.
Well,
so.
mine is my best friend. Yours is an ex. So I would say that
think
holds
I've-
more. That holds more points.
I think I've known her longer, so
I
Exactly.
think it holds more points.
I
though,
think
if it's someone
I'm
that
pretty sure it's not.
in great graces with. Still.
Kids are the tiebreak. Kids are the tiebreak.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean anything.
Tony and Nick have tried to make kids.
Go
but it
back
didn't-
to your dogs, Todd.
didn't work out.
So
at
Nick
all.
lost. That's great. So thanks again. That's the podcast for the week. Please join us here next weekend for episode 151. On behalf of Schnozzcast, this is Bob and Cory and Todd. and Nick, and special guest Greg Gumtow saying thank you very much. We'll see you next week.